Good morning, I'm Jessica Lepine Elfus. I am a business analyst and I come to Blue Power with over 10 years of experience in sales and marketing and development management. We're looking currently at a business problem that's facing Blue Power, in particular a subsidiary of Blue Power, BPLS Services. They have recently acquired an HVAC company and they seem to be experiencing some negative effects from that purchase. That said, we're trying to determine exactly what the cause is of that business problem. The acquisition brought 15 new technicians to the company, and unfortunately, since that has happened, we've seen a 25% decrease in operating revenue and a 43% in decline of estimates to sales. So the technicians are going out and doing estimates and not converting those to sales in the marketplace. And lastly, we've seen a decrease in employee engagement since 2017 by 25%. This presentation is going to look at a deeper dive as to what the symptoms and effects are and ultimately the cause of the business problem that's facing BPLS Services. Its employees, its brand in the marketplace as well. When we're looking at the business problem, we're looking at our profit and loss statements, and as I mentioned, there has been a steady decline in profits and the number of sales. In addition, the acquisition brought 15 additional employees to an already 50-plus base of employees that were currently at BPL Services. So one would expect that with the addition of employees, we would see definitely more sales increase. There's more bodies there to provide the services. Unfortunately, that is not happening. Unfortunately as well, the overall company, BPL Power, is a publicly traded company and answers to stockholders in the marketplace. Our shareholders, also the board of directors and upper management, is starting to be concerned that this negative effect will have a negative effect on our stock, and ultimately that some of our greater shareholders will pull out of the marketplace and unfortunately present a greater problem, leading to further declines. What's the main cause of the problem? When we really took a deeper dive into really what the overriding issue was, especially since we were able to look at acquiring a new company, what happened was we realized that the former employees of the company that was purchased, the technicians, were actually formally compensated quite differently. They were actually performance-based, and they got a base salary that was on the lower side, and then they additionally got bonuses based on sales, based on numerous things. And suddenly they were brought into a corporate structure that did not have this and only had a base salary that apparently they have not been happy with. They were used to being incentivized by using the bonus structure, and unfortunately now that is no longer happening. What has resulted is a deeper set of employees that are unhappy and that are not feeling motivated, and they are actually becoming untrustworthy of the company. Looking at the solution, it's been determined that probably we need to take a look at possibly changing the compensation program at BPLS Services and providing a more compensated base that's based on rewarding and based on incentives, a bonus plan, sales goals, etc. Cash-based incentives are one choice, or also a blended service of a blended profile of compensation might also be considered. One of the disadvantages to doing a cash-based only program would be that employees will often rush to get a job done because they feel that the number is what they're looking for. They're pushing to get their numbers met, and unfortunately they might omit processes in the work stream. They might forget to do paperwork. They might even miss steps in the services that they're providing, which ultimately costs additional money to the company. It's wasted time, and it's also leading to rework. In addition, they also might manipulate things, unfortunately. There's been a study that Harvard Business Journal looked at where when we just base on cash-based incentive programs, they might even play with schedules to bump up their schedules and get more numbers on the books, which is highly illegal and unethical, also a potential disadvantage. Lastly, Cash-based incentives also can be uncertain for a company. You might have months that are very busy and you might have months that are not. You might have this sudden push and then you don't have it, leading to an up and down stream and not really knowing how much to really forecast out in your budget scenario. A blended approach also, again, is more money out the door. It's thinking about other programs that would be offered to employees, such as parking spaces or paid educational programs, also costly to a company. That said, we look and research on this type of employee and what they're used to being incentivized or used to being compensated by, and it does involve a bonus program. So an advantage of that is generally it makes the business stronger because you have more motivated employees who want to work, who feel like their work is valued, and they're being rewarded for the sales that they're making. An advantage to cash-based plans is a greater push on results, a greater push to get the work done, and a greater number of estimates, which ultimately would increase our revenue that would be coming into the company. That said, I still think a blended approach probably would be a better approach, a blended compensation program based a little bit about what I said before, blending things such as possible smaller cash bonuses, offering a better parking space to a person for increased sales, offering educational opportunities in the environment that is bettering both the employee and it's helping the business as well. It's also a steady stream that can be a little bit easier forecasting in the financial arena as well. It just has a better productivity overall for the company. It's kind of a win-win for both employees and the company. So our conclusion here in looking at the overall business problem is that we have seen this steady decline and it is an overriding problem. And I think we do need to take a much deeper dive as an organization into looking at some sort of strategy to incentivize these employees and the technicians that we have brought on and our current base of employees to increase sales, to increase revenue. Over the next 60 days, I'm recommending to the board of directors and our upper management that we take a look at what is the best plan moving forward. I'm going to suggest a blended plan versus a cash-based. I believe there are more advantages there than disadvantages. I believe that is definitely a more win-win for both employees and also the company. It won't be cost prohibitive. We can actually forecast out the dollars. It will build trust among our employees. It will be competitive and fair within the marketplace. And it will increase sales and increase our revenue. It will build brand loyalty, I believe, in the community. We have more empowered employees that feel proud about where they're working and they feel like they're delivering a product and being rewarded for their services. And it will ease the minds ultimately of our shareholders as our profits increase, as our sales increase, as our workforce is a happier workforce. A win-win across the board, as I mentioned earlier. To increase long-term profits and ease shareholders and upper management to improve and motivate employees and morale and build loyal customers in the marketplace. Ultimately, my suggestion is that BPL Services must focus on building a revenue-generating sales team that is properly and fairly incentivized, and it creates an environment across the board for shareholders, for the employees, for management, and ultimately our brand in the community and in the marketplace. It's completely a win across the board. Thank you very much, and I hope you will consider the solutions that I have offered in my presentation.